Hey guys, this is Caesar with Inspire Movement. Welcome to another segment of Word of the Day. So today we find ourselves in beautiful Costa Rica. Right behind me is this beautiful volcano, Arenal. This was active up until 2010. It's a beautiful feature of this beautiful place in Costa Rica. We find ourselves in La Fortuna. So the reason why we're here, before we get started with the Word of the Day, is we are going to be working on a yoga retreat for you all. And this is going to be our host country. We'll give you a little bit more details, my wife and I, as we draw a little bit closer to the date. But it will be here, and we've already scoped out a beautiful location, which we know that you'll love, and we appreciate your patronage and your support. So with that, I'm going to go into the word of the day. The word of the day today that we're going to be looking at is envy. So let's start out by just a general definition of the word envy. When we think of envy, we think of essentially a discontented or resentful longing for basically something that we don't currently have, for someone else's possessions, for someone else's qualities, potentially for somebody else's good luck. Aristotle defined envy as a pain that we internally struggle with at the mere sight of somebody else's good fortune. And it's stirred up by something that we don't currently have, but we think that we ought to have. One of the ways that we can look at what leads to this type of emotion, I guess, internally, is people that typically suffer from like internal insecurities, that are overly dependent on others. They can suffer from these kinds of emotions, envy and jealousy. So let's start by what envy is not. Envy is not jealousy, right? So when you think of jealousy, jealousy is actually an experience of loss. We feel like we've actually lost something that we feel very emotionally attached to, versus something like envy, which is our coveting of something that we don't currently have. Again, somebody's good qualities or good possessions, etc. So maybe some of the things that you may ask yourself in terms of being envious is in terms of a professional setting, you may feel like, oh, I should have gotten that level of recognition that somebody else got. Why did they receive that and I didn't? What qualities do they have that I don't? Versus questions that we really should be asking ourselves when this very natural emotion comes about is, well, how can the envy that we're experiencing right now, be actually good for us, in the sense that what is it that that other person has, if it's in a professional setting, that led to that promotion, for example, or that better opportunity that we are currently coveting but not able to get? What is it that they're doing that we're not? And there is levels of unfairness that we could contend with in life, that we may not have certain access to certain things that may get us somewhere that somebody else does. But that aside, in things like a professional setting, when envy creeps in, you have to ask yourself, what are other people doing that I'm not? So how can we combat the feeling of envy? Well, the first thing is, I think you need to focus on the positive things that you have in your life versus things that are, say, the wrong things, like material things, houses, money, cars, etc. Those things are not necessarily the path to happiness. And also surrounding yourselves with people that don't necessarily have that same value system that can lead to something like envy. So basically folks that are very grateful, that are very joyous and have that abundant joy all the time, they're very thankful for the things that they have. Those are healthy ways in which you can combat this negative emotion of envy. And there's also something like just wishing or being happy when somebody is succeeding. So when somebody's actually successful, be happy for them, be joyful for them. And in turn, that same abundance and joy will come to you. And that's really what it's all about. And this is how we can combat these feelings of envy. As I personally reflect with envy, I can tell you there was a time in my life where there was a family that we were very close to when I used to live back in New Jersey, which I felt at the time had done something wrong to my family. And one of the kids of that family, then a kid I would assume, eventually led a very successful musical career. By then I had moved to Florida, and whatever issue or contention there was between families had come and gone. But as I further reflected later in life, that person's success had certainly nothing to do with whatever wrong was caused to my family on that family's behalf. So envy was only going to keep me from being successful myself. So one of the things I've learned, as I've alluded to earlier, is by wishing good on other people, by wishing them really happy thoughts when they're succeeding, it's kind of like a cyclical thing. That's how you will experience abundance and joy yourself. So for us to put those negative emotions aside, and when they creep in, let's just try to learn from them. That's the best that we can do. So I hope that you've enjoyed this segment. You know that these segments are done from the heart. We'll continue to do them as much as we can. It's another way of reaching out to you. Please sync up with us on Facebook, on Instagram. Look at our YouTube channel with the dialogues that we're generating with people through our community outreach program. And again, tune in for more to come on this beautiful space, Costa Rica, where we're going to do these wonderful retreats for you. My wife and I have a lot in store for you. We look for you to sync with us. Thank you so much and have a blessed rest of the week.